Greetings.
Grüß Gott, what?
I wanted to ask you, what's on the other side of that nearest hill? I'm not from here, and I'd like to get my bearings. You look like a merchant to me, so you probably know best.
Ja, natürlich, you are not from here. Everyone around here knows that, after what happened in Betty's Tavern. Aber das ist deine Sache. That is your business, lad. Also, what do you want to know?
Is there anything I should avoid around here?
Certainly. Stirring up trouble and sticking your nose into other people's business. Here in the village, we don't care much for outsiders. If any do come, they better behave.
I understand that, but we were ambushed by bandits. So I wanted to ask if you know anything about that.
Ach so, ich verstehe. The woods have been full of all manner of rebel recently. That is all because of the war. Verdammte Schurken.
So you've already heard about these bandits?
About those ones in particular, or about others. They are all just gleichen Scheißkerle. Every time I go to the town, the bailiff must send an armed escort with me. It makes life difficult.
So the roads aren't safe?
Ja, das kann man wohl sagen. Herr von Bergo should do something about it at last. But Herr Otto spends more time in Prague than here. And Chamberlain Ulrich... Ach, lassen wir das.
What do you have for sale? Word about the price.
Natürlich, kein Problem.
Do you accept?
That's more like it. Lower your price a little more and we can make a deal. Sehr gut. I can agree to that. Ja, zufrieden sein. Bis bald. Das war ein gutes Geschäft. Auf Wiedersehen. Wie geht's?
I'll have a look at... Let's talk about the... Is this enough?
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal. Ja, das ist gut. Finally a good price. And take care.
Sharp as a razor. What a view! Another of von Bergov's men. Another of von Bergov's men? But this one has a cross.
We've survived drought! We've survived floods! Look out!
If you're going out in public,
Take a bath.
Just as well. I fell asleep during the sermon. I'm not surprised. The sermons have been awful lately. If I hear about the woman with 10 silver coins one more time, I'll scream. Maybe we could sneak in some wine next time. That would make it more bearable.
God bless.
Greetings.
Jesus Christ be praised.
How I'd love to stroke their cheeks.
Greetings.
Stop that! You're interrupting my train of...
What do you want, you yokel? Speak up or get lost.
They spend their
My dog got lost not far from here. Did you see him by any chance?
I haven't seen any dogs round here for a while. But I hear there's wolves in the forest causing problems. Just the other day, a shepherd boy from Copenina complained that his sheep were being eaten by the flea-ridden beasts.
Where can I find this shepherd?
Siegfried? He has a hut at Copenina. It's just below the castle, on the back slope of the hill.
And you haven't heard anything else about wild dogs?
Here, in the tavern? No. But there was a fella here who gets by doing a bit of poaching. He said once he was hunting when, right in front of him, a large pack attacked a deer. A mix of wolves and dogs, he said. That's not something you see every day.
Do you know where that was?
How would I know where he goes hunting? But I'd say it was in the forest.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a friend of mine. He's not from round here, but...
Let me guess. A dirty ruffian who ain't got a groschen to his name but acts like he owns the bloody place.
He was here then?
Aye, he was. He was larging it up good and proper, and then he found some lads who paid his bill, unfortunately.
What do you mean by that? Why unfortunately?
Because they're right ruffians who are always up to no good. But still, birds of a feather, eh? In the end, they left like best pals, but got no idea where they went.
What's going on around here, innkeeper?
Vostatek, Lord von Berghoff's huntsman, is a regular here. He might have some work for you. He's got a cottage near Vidlark Pond. So if you know your way round the woods, you could go and offer him your help. But I hope he hasn't started drinking somewhere else. He's my best customer. One more thing. You're not going to believe this, but 2 local lads claim they found a water goblin's treasure.
Would you happen to know where I could find these lads?
They often swim at the other side of the Rock Tower Pond. There's a pier there by the dam. That's their spot.
You have a water goblin here?
It would be a wonder if we didn't, with all the ponds around. He's got a hut nearby. If you follow the right bank of the Rock Tower Pond, you'll find it hidden in the reeds.
And what did they find there? Are you sure they didn't make it up?
I thought so too at first. They're foolish lads, so I wouldn't be surprised. But then they ordered wine and paid with silver. Their purse was jingling with groschen.
Any other news?
Recently, a bunch of charcoal burners who have their kilns on the hill above the Kerchak Pond came here to have a beer. I started talking to them and they told me they almost didn't make it.
Why?
They said a pack of wolves came after them.
Aren't wolves afraid of people?
That's what I thought too. It's strange.
Did they tell you where it happened?
In a gorge above the Rock Tower Pond. They noticed the wolves watching them from the rocks. If you climb up those rocks, you'll be able to see the whole pond from there.
Did they tell you how large the pack was?
They mentioned 3 wolves, but God knows if that's all of them.
Do you have any more news?
By the way, we've put together this wee fight club here. Would you like to try it?
That sounds good. What's it about?
It actually came about by chance when the miller Crazel and me bet on who has the stronger hired hands. Then other blokes from the village joined in, and it's become somewhat of a tradition. And that's pretty much everything.
Thanks, innkeeper. That sounds interesting. Tell me more about these fights of yours.
It's really quite simple. You bet some money and fight against 3 blokes in turn. Our first fighter is Hans, a local musician. He may not look like much, but he knows a few tricks. Then we have Bohunek here. He works with horses, so he has more than enough strength to spare. And then there's Fiala, a good bloke, but Dorothy, his wife, has forbidden him from fighting.
I'd like to try the fights here.
Why not? But it won't be for free. If you don't have enough money, try to go and see Crazel at the mill. He recently bragged he was going to send someone here, but no one has come yet. Maybe you can come to some agreement together.
Fine. I'll go and see him, and we'll see.
Of our cities. And oh, the lovely wenches that...
Oh, well.
How I'd love
can
to
you do?
stroke their titties.
Oh, well then.
Stop that!
What are you two talking about then?
A peasant like you would never understand.
Well, looks can be deceiving. If I weren't so kind-hearted, you might annoy me with talk like that.
Wise counsel indeed. What's your name?
My name is Henry.
Then sit, noble Enrico, and give your verdict on our dispute.
Aye, don't be shy. Come and sit with us.
It's Henry. H-E-N... whatever.
Ah, any tanner or bathhouse boy could be called Henry. Enrico is nobilissimo.
Oh, for the love of God. Will you just tell me what you were discussing?
It's just that my dear friend George here is a vulgar louse who knows as much about the art of poetry as a baying donkey.
To tell the truth, my last encounter with verse didn't end all that well.
Really? Come on, let's discuss it over a beer.
Man to man, poet to poet.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say I was...
Sit.
So, are you going to tell me what you're talking about?
It's about nothing less than the very essence of the art of poetry.
And also about the fact that Michael here hasn't got his oats for ages and it's got his brain in a twist.
Kindly ignore our friend George here. He's been a simple soul ever since he was dropped on his head as a baby.
Freedom. I figured out poetry ain't to be found in inspiration from the muse. All the truth in the world is right there in ale, roast pig, and fucking.
To the point where fornication and drinking leave no time for actual composing. Better to forego the pleasures of the flesh and give oneself to art. Honorate l'altissima poeta.
Aye, aye. Keep your hair on, mate. As I said, he's not in his right mind. He once met an Italian poet, and ever since he thinks he's Dante Alighieri.
Alighieri, you dolt. So what do you think, Enrico? Where should a poet seek inspiration?
Innkeeper, a beer!
Well, I rather doubt it's to be found in beer or some wench's cleavage. Those might be nice to look at, but an artist should seek inspiration in higher things.
My very words. Let's drink to that.
However you look at it, you, my friend, as a worldly,
And highborn,
clever,
experienced,
intrepid,
unique.
in short, just the right fella.
You might be able to help us out with something.
What are you after?
Enrico, we are in need of an adventurer.
My name's Henry. H-E-N... something...
In short, Enrico, we're in need of an adventurer, a man of action, a man of goodwill, a man of knowledge, a man,
A fucking good fella.
a fellow who helps his fellow man, aspiring minstrels.
If only you knew, mate, what genius is sleeping in our throats. Songs just waiting for a voice to raise you to the heights of glory.
Imagine it. An ode to Henry, the hapless, hoe-wielding hero, harassing the heartless hordes of
Humans?
That's it! Hark, Henry the Lionheart! The only thing missing for you to achieve glory is...
A loot! We need a loot!
All right, but where would I even get a thing like that?
In the words of the poet, una volta corre il cane, e una altra la lepre. He who seeks shall find, or something like that.
And finding it won't be hard. We've done a bit of snooping, and there's only one in these parts.
It's hanging all forlorn on a wall at the carpenter's in Troskowitz. The house directly opposite the Rathaus.
It ain't no use to him, but he won't sell it, the tight ass.
While if it were in our hands...
In our hands, it will sing like a nun on Sunday.
And it will be the torch lighting our way from this provincial purgatory to the gates of Kuttenberg.
Torch?
shit, you want to fucking burn it?
It's a metaphor, you ignorant oaf.
All right, I'll see what I can do. Please just quieten down for a bit.
You have a very nice maypole.
Right? That's why we value it so much. We never let it out of sight.
Don't tell me you guard it all the time.
I mean it. Everyone watches it during the day, and each night someone different has guard duty. Right now, it's that musclehead Henrik.
Sounds like you're not too fond of him.
You should hear my parents. Thing is, Henrik likes my sister, Manka. But my parents put a stop to that.
Do you know why?
You'd have to ask them. I have to keep an eye on the sheep. We each do what we have to. Take care for now.
That's a beautiful maypole you have there. You don't see that every day. I reckon all the other villagers must envy you.
They sure do. Them Geliovites try to steal it, but our fellas kick their asses. Why are you so interested in it anyway?
If it was up to me, I'd have at least 5 fellas with clubs standing around it, and have 'em beat up anyone who dares walk by.
And who'd be left to work in the fields then, eh? No, that's not the way to go about it. And if someone had bad intentions, Henrik would show them how we do things here in Tachov. That's the one thing he's good for.
What's new around here?
You should pay a visit to Old Mouth sometime. He's our local storyteller, you know. He could tell you all sorts of interesting things, but only if you bring him some liquor. Don't forget, I have some here to sell, if you want. And that's all I'd say.
Sounds interesting. What do you have for sale?
Thank you, and a good day to you, friend.
What's the hold-up, innkeeper?
That's a beautiful maypole.
Aye, ours is the prettiest. And also the only one in these parts. That's why we keep a close eye on it. Except, I feel sorry for my poor Henrik.
Why is he worried?
Oh, he has to keep watch over it at night. We decided to keep it up until harvest. Except that means someone has to guard it every night. Henrik pulled the short straw this time. And he's dead tired because of it.
Henrik?
He's my sweetheart, I suppose. It's complicated.
Complicated? Is something wrong?
Well, since you asked, my parents forbid us from seeing each other. They're all up in arms over it. They're just not fond of him. So we have to meet in secret, which is impossible now. Since Henrik doesn't have the time because he has to watch the maypole.
Well, what if someone took over for him and he had some free time tonight?
I'd like to see that. He's tired, but it's a matter of honor for him. Besides, the others wouldn't be happy if they found out.
We'll see.
That sounds just awful. By the...
People call you the Mouth, right?
I'm no mouth to you. My name is Denyek. Got that? What do people call you then? Bughead? Arse face?
I'm sorry, Stenyak. I'm Henry.
Pleased to meet you. But you were right about the stories. I could tell you stories so sad they'd make the devil cry. Or would you prefer something so scary it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white? But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
Just let me know. I have some well-aged mutton in black soup.
To your health, my friend.
Thank you very much. I knew you wouldn't leave me high and dry. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I like stories that can teach me something. Stories with a moral.
Haven't you heard enough of those in church? But it's not a problem. I have just the tale for you. And it's not one you'll hear from any priest. So, Once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
I reckon that was the right choice. Who knows who the silver axe belonged to?
Well, quite. Listen on. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth, so he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself, so he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one!" But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down whole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
Well, all was as it should have been. It was Kuba's fault.
I don't think so. It seems Matthias didn't either. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used a silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against a big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier, where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe then?
Because it brings misfortune. Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. Well, see you later. Have a good evening.
What's new around here?
Nothing new. It's quiet.
Do you know Henrik at all?
He started going out with our monka a while ago, but in short, he's not exactly the kind of fella I want in my family.
Why? Did he do something to you?
I don't want him whisking Manka away, so we never see her again. His parents came here shortly after that terrible plague. There was a vacant farm, so they settled there. They had 3 sons, Henrik being the youngest. Say, have you met his brothers?
I haven't. Though I can't say I made an effort to.
Well, you couldn't have met them, even if you wanted, because they're not here. Both of them left. They say the younger one had a sweetheart in Troskowitz and took her with him. Nobody knows where they ended up.
Well, that doesn't really mean anything. You're judging him unfairly.
Come on now. What do you even know?
I've been through a lot. The main thing is, everyone deserves a second chance.
Just you wait. I'll prove you wrong. One of these days, he's going to pack up and disappear. And I don't want him taking our monka along with him. He doesn't like folks talking about it. But wandering's in his blood whether he likes it or not. He's even got into fights over it. Just mentioning it is enough for him to clench his fists. You should try that on him.
So, this is your famous maypole.
Is there something you need?
How's the maypole garden going?
I'm bored out of my bloody mind.
Would you mind some company?
Oh, not really.
Are you from around here?
I mean, that depends. I live here. I inherited a farm from my parents, but I wasn't born here. My parents came here sometime after that great plague. There was a vacant farm, so they settled here.
Henrik, what about your brothers?
What? Why do you care?
No, it's just that I've been hearing some interesting things about them around town.
Pah, let them talk. I don't know anything about them. They left.
Why did they leave?
I'm not sure. This place isn't too bad, but I reckon they wanted to see the world. Penna left after Pa died, and Rudlin right after Ma's passing, so I was left here alone.
And where did they go?
Hard to say. One said he'd head towards Prague. The other decided to go wherever his legs take him. But as for where they are now, I've no clue. They both said they'd return in a year, but they never did. I hope I get to see them again.
I talked to Manka. She mentioned you two are having some problems.
Well, if she already told you, no sense in covering it up. Aye, we are. Me and Manka love each other, but her parents are against it. I don't even know why. They just don't like me. They forbid her from seeing me. We went to a dance together in Troskowitz recently, but when they found out, they were furious. Now they're keeping close watch over her and causing problems for me as well.
Well, they can't be watching her all the time, can they? Just go out late at night sometime. Nobody'll notice.
We've done that a few times, but we can't now. There's no time for it. I've got to stand watch at night. I was drawn. This year, they want to keep the maypole up until harvest, and that's still far off.
Listen, I've got an idea. How about I stand watch in your stead for one night? You and Manka can go somewhere in the meantime. Nobody'll know.
You'd do that for us?
Of course. It's nothing.
All right, we have a deal. Ask Manka and let me know what she says. You'd better go before people start...
French.
You mentioned you and Henrik are having some trouble.
Well, hi.
I talked to him, and we came up with a plan. I'll take over guard duty for him, and you two can have some time to yourselves.
Well, that sounds pretty good, actually. So how are we going to do it?
Tonight, when everyone's asleep, you'll sneak out and wait for Henrik. I'll take over his watch, and you two, well, can do whatever you want.
All right, agreed. Tell Henrik I'll be waiting for him. He'll know where to go. And tell him I'm looking forward to tonight.
Don't shove!
What's the hold-up, innkeeper? I've got a hankering for her just talking about her. I reckon I'll have to go and see that bird before you whisk her away.
I'll whisk her away
Taking
no
our
matter
time
what.
again.
You want to bet?
Aye, why not? First, let's
Then another 5 and a 1. I threw 3 2s, but I took a 1 and threw again. But then he got 2 1s and a 6.
Good news. Manka agrees. She'll be waiting for you tonight. She says you'll know where.
We'll meet by the maypole as soon as it gets dark, all right?
Aye. It's a deal.
You can't be here!
Christ. Don't cause any trouble. Got it?
Greetings, Master Guard. Listen, Prochek. Those Zheliovites are plotting something against you.
What? Bloody hell.
Old Olbram offered me some groschen to steal your maypole.
Damn it! That bitter old fool just won't give up. As if it wasn't enough that we fairly and honourably took theirs, and then fairly and honourably kicked their asses when they tried to take ours. It's a tradition. That's just how it goes. But for him to send some bloody outsider like that,
Hey, this bloody outsider just did you a favour and told you everything, though he didn't have to.
Aye, he did. I can clearly see he's an honest bloke, and we value honesty around here.
Thanks. I see the people from Takov are honest too.
That we are. Speaking of which, I reckon it would be fair to repay Olbram in kind. Let me know if you're interested. I came up with a nice little pastime that's sure to make Olbram shit himself.
So what should I do to the Zhelyevites?
Listen up then. Old Olbram, the owner of the biggest plot of land in Zhelyov, has this beautiful bull. White as snow he is, the finest animal far and wide. Obviously, he's very proud of it. Now you, will give his beautiful snow-white bull a nice new coat of paint. Simple, right?
Painting a bull, eh? That sounds like fun.
Right. We just have to work out a few details. First, we have to get some paint. I don't reckon we'll be able to get any here in the village, but you can try and ask Bartoszek, the tailor in Trotskovitz. I hear he dyes his own fabric. And after that, we'll have to make sure the bull stays still while you're painting it. Try asking Radovan, the local blacksmith. I hear he can make some kind of sleeping potion. If you pour it in the bull's water trough, I'm sure it'll do the trick. But watch out. That beast is enormous. You'd better put at least 3 doses of the potion in there.
All right then. Olbram's bull will be getting a new coat of paint.
Olbram's going to lose his mind. And remember, it's supposed to be a joke. If you get caught or something goes wrong, the whole thing will be ruined.
Right. So I need paint, sleeping potions, and to not get caught. Why do you and the Zhelyov lot hate each other so much, anyway?
It's their fault. They keep playing tricks on us. Olbram's the worst of them all. The nasty old codger. He's always coming up with ways to mess with us. He's the one that stole our pasture.
What pasture did they steal from you?
The one that stretches from the orchard behind the Takov down to the gamekeeper's lodge. It's been ours since time immemorial. But the Zhelyevites took it from us.
And how did they take it from you? You can't exactly stuff a pasture in your purse and walk away with it.
Save the jokes, will you? This is fucking serious. There's a tree down by the gamekeeper's lodge that marks the edge of our land. My father, God rest his soul, was there when they agreed on it. He got a proper ass kicking so he'd remember it. And remember it he did. But then fucking Olbram came along, claiming it was the other way around. And that pasture belonged to Zhelyov.
Well, can't you all just reach some kind of agreement?
Do you think we haven't tried? But there's no talking to the Zhelyevites. Year after year we meet in that pasture. I tell it like it was, but Olbram always starts spewing his lies. Then we end up arguing until the sun sets. And when the Zhelyevites are at wit's end, they come at us. And nothing ever gets solved. We managed to convince them to at least give us back half the pasture. But I know the whole bloody thing belongs to us. We can't just leave things like this.
Can I spend the...
Not a chance.
I need something that'll put animals to sleep. Prochek said you might know something.
Well, it's true. I used a concoction that will put even a startled mare to sleep in no time. I once accidentally drank some and slept for 3 days. But the recipe is an old blacksmith's secret. The kind you don't just give away.
Wouldn't you tell a fellow blacksmith? My dad was a swordsmith, and I used to help him a lot.
But you didn't pay much attention, did you now?
Well, I don't want it just for the sake of it. I need to use it against the Zhelyov lot.
So, Project and Obram are at it again. Blockheads, both of them. Well, what the hell. Maybe if I help you out, they'll start trading punches sooner and get it all over with. Pay up, and I'll tell you the secret.
Thank you. Is this enough?
Well, if you offer a little bit more... Aye. Listen up. You take some poppy and thistle and boil them in oil. Then, after it cools off, you add a little herb Paris.
That doesn't sound too complicated. Thank you.
Huh? Did I imagine it?
You shouldn't be here. That's it. Go now. I should look to see if anything's missing.
Hey, you! Have you done something I should know about?
I'm not doing anything. You're doing a great job keeping watch.
You'd better believe it.
That nobleman came back. He said he's not going to let it drop.
Was machst du? Du Nervensäge!
Let's talk about the price.
Natürlich.
Satisfied?
That's more like it. Lower your price a little more and we can make a deal. Why? You'll convince me with that price? And take care.
I've heard you dye your own fabric.
I used to. I tried a few times, but I had to give it up. Troskovitz is on a hill, and there's not enough water for that. Why'd you ask?
I'd like to buy some pigment.
I see. Or perhaps I could find some leftover black. If you have enough groschen, it's yours.
Ah, damn. That's more money than I thought.
Well, lad.
All right, here's the money.
And here's the paint. Be careful not to stain yourself. Is that all, or is there anything else I can do for you?
Would you repair a few things for me?
You're no longer in mortal danger.
humans.
Did Bailiff Thrash tell you?
Tell me what?
What entertainment he's got planned for the wedding?
He's been babbling about the wedding non-stop.
The Lord be with you.
I came to apologise for the fight that me and Lord Capon started. If we caused any damages, I'll take care of them.
You've served your penance by carrying them sacks, and I'm sure you won't forget about the stocks anytime soon either, eh? So we're square. If you want to help me out, though, I do know something you could do. There's a group of humans at the table over there, and they want some food, but, well, I don't know. I'm scared of them.
Should I kick them out?
No, a guest's a guest, and coin's coin, but do you think you could serve them for me? Better to have a fella deal with them.
What are Cumans doing in Troskovitz anyway?
Beats me. I reckon Sigismund sent them.
But if that was the case, he'd order them to pillage and murder, not sit around in a tavern.
Look, all I know is that they're sitting in my yard, are hungry, and have a pile of groschen that I could really use.
All right. But I'm not sure I'll understand them.
You'll manage. One of them speaks our language. But be quick about it. They're starting to make the locals nervous. Wojtek at the next table looks like he's about to pounce on them. And no more fighting.
We should be living in fear of our women in our...
The innkeeper said you wanted some food.
Exactly. We do not want much. Just some bread and something beside. Maybe a bit of sausage.
Do you have money?
We have, and we pay for everything. On my name, not Voshko.
His wings.
I spoke to the Cumans. They want some bread and sausage.
Do they have money?
Well, they say they do. They promised to pay for everything.
Well, all right. I'll believe them. The food is in the tavern pantry. But don't you dare take anything else, you hear?
Right. Nobody stays with that rabble around. Human swine. You think you own the place, do you? Someone should kick their ass. Really clever.
Whatever they want.
The nerve of them showing their goat.
Here you go.
Thank you. I afraid we leave. Ahesh. Without food.
Korva, why are you even talking to them? They can go to hell.
How come you speak our language so well?
From mother. It is long tertined. Story. Maybe I tell another time. Now we just want to eat.
I wish you good appetite.
Thanks, friend.
I wouldn't exactly say friend.
Mit mondott?
Jót vágyott kívánott nekünk.
Remélem nem mérgezte meg.
You should get the fuck out of here. You hear me, you Hungarian pork sausage?
Easy, fella. They just want to eat their food in peace and leave.
You seem very sure about that. Last time you got into a brawl here yourself, and now you're going to preach to us about peace? Oh shit. I say we smash their teeth in and be done with it.
Better take to your heels. Yeah, you should really get going.
My thoughts exactly.
Easy, friend.
Győzzem.
I've had enough. Get off your...
Just relax. Everything be all right.
Do I make myself clear, you cunt? Out, now!
Jobb, ha megyünk, vagy leütöm.
All right, we go.
Picsa!
What did you just say? Fuck that shit. Hey, where do you think you're going? Did you really just spit on me, you scum?
He not mean it. He go too far.
And who's gonna pay?
We no eat anything. You take food back.
So our food ain't the gentleman's taste, eh? Maybe they'd rather wear it on their heads instead. What about you, lad? Will you help us kick these pigs out of here?
Leave them alone.
You're defending those horse fuckers. Birds of a feather, eh?
You don't even know who they are.
You think I don't? They're fucking humans. They burn and pillage every village they come across, and you're standing up for them. You fucking traitor.
Hey,
Ez a barátom! Rúgjuk szét a segét, Harry!
Remek csapás!
I'll sort them nicely.
Na faszomba!
You can't take me!
We'll see about that.
Peace and quiet things of
Szép találat volt ez. Mondtam, hogy hülye ötlet volt.
I hope.
Sakra!
I hope he doesn't hurt anyone
Goodness
else.
gracious. Are you all right? What? Why is he lying there like that? Wake up. There you go.
Jesus Christ, my head. I must have hit it on Did something. something happen? Wake up. Come on.
My head. What the hell happened? Where am I?
What's the latest news, innkeeper?
Have you heard about the Divozhenka of Semaine?
What Divozhenka?
You haven't seen one yet? A Divozhenka is a wild woman of the forest. An ugly, disfigured creature. You can find them deep in the woods or caves, where they make their ointments and gather magic herbs. Sometimes they hurt people, sometimes they help them. You shouldn't go there.
Why not?
The Sameen lot did that. They were worried she might put young Lord Sameen under a spell, especially now, because of the wedding, so they took care of her. And that's about it, I'd say.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper. Can I spend the night here?
Not a chance. Go.
What are you lying here for? What the hell? Hey, did something happen? Wake up!
Oh, my head. What the hell happened? Roman's body was found buried in the woods.
I heard.
I found a buried corpse by the woods. It's Roman. And he hadn't been in the ground long.
Roman? Wait a moment. You think I've something to do with it?
But everyone knows you two were at loggerheads. Over Pavlena.
That doesn't mean I'd kill anyone. Look at me. I can hardly walk. Never mind killing someone.
Well, you're nicely beaten up. But I didn't hear anything at the tavern. I'll go and ask there. But God help you if you try and run off. Then it'll all be clear to me.
Where would I go? I'm fed up with how everyone suspects me whenever anything happens.
God bless.
Hail, good man.
God be with you.
And with you. How about taking a break? Rest those legs and try your wits instead. Come on, don't be shy. I won't bite.
That's a relief.
What were you going to offer me?
Curiosity killed the cat. No shame in that, though. They call me Barley.
You just wander the world.
Exactly. Never a dull day so far.
You have a peculiar name.
If I were ordinary, well, that's just another way of saying boring. And boring's not for me. So I wander the roads collecting my riddles, and if I meet anyone I find interesting, I'll happily work a riddle on them.
A riddle? Very well. Let's hear it.
Now, listen carefully. What belongs to you alone, but is used more often by others? Any idea?
My name.
That's right! You have a learned head on those shoulders. The robes of a priest would suit you better than a sword.
They really wouldn't, I assure you.
More's the pity. But down to business. I have a proposition for you. You deserve a reward for solving my riddle. Except, you've caught me flat broke. I can give you some of what little I have. Or teach you some of what I know. What'll it be?
I'm always up for learning something new. What can you teach me?
I spend my days on the roads and my nights in the taverns. What interests you more?
Tell me about your experience on the road.
You can't beat a sturdy pair of shoes and a good supply of wine or ale with you. And keep an eye on the clouds. They can tell you if a big storm is brewing, and whether you'll have time to find some shelter.
I'll bear that in mind.
And you'll stay dry. Farewell! You're still here? What is it you need?
Do you have another riddle for me?
Another one? Hold your horses, lad! A riddle needs to be nice and mysterious. It has to stimulate the mind. What would people think?
So you've got nothing more for me then?
That's enough for one day.
I think I'll be off.
Safe travels then.
I hear you have some problems with wolves.
You can say that again. Those fucking mangy beasts are eating my sheep. They take them like they were for sale at the market.
Did you notice an ordinary mutt amongst those wolves?
You know, there might have been. I didn't get a close look at them, but one seemed to be smaller and was a strange colour.
That could have been Mutt.
If I understand you, you're looking for your dog and think he might be with those wolves, right?
That's right. I'll have to find that pack to see if it's him.
I'll say, since you're already going after that pack, would you mind doing a good deed? If you kill those furry fuckers, there'll be a reward in it for you.
Why not? I can kill two birds with the one stone.
That's great.
I hope so. Where can I find that wolf pack?
I was grazing my sheep up on the slope last time, by the forked birch, and those monsters learned to go there. I don't take my sheep there anymore. But those fuckers still go sniffing around over there.
So we'll bring your flock up there again and wait and see if they come.
Are you fucking mad? I don't want to lose any more sheep.
Not even one single sheep? I promise I'll look after it.
Well, I could lend you Ignatius. He's the stupidest ram I've ever seen. Or the brightest. Depends on how you look at it.
What do you mean? Can he do somersaults? Does he know how to count?
That'll be all I need. The only thing that little devil knows how to do is piss me off. When I want him to move, he sits still. When I want him to sit still, he fucks off to where I can't find him.
I know people like that.
Right. But you can tell a person to fuck off. But when it's a sheep, you're wasting your breath. And on top of that, you have to take good care of him.
So I'll take Ignatius and use him as bait?
Right. But he's so stupid he's smart. I'm certain he'll come back to me.
All right. I'll take Ignatius and go and have a look around that forked birch. Will he come with me, or will I have to lead him up somehow?
That bugger will follow you himself. Just wave a carrot in front of his face. He's mad for carrots. I can't even count the times he's rammed his way into my house to get some. I happen to have one here. If you take it with you, he'll follow you around like a loyal dog. When you get to the pasture, just throw the carrot and then go and hide. Ignatius will stay there.
Where can I hide there?
There's a thicket across the road. But don't worry, if the wolves go after the sheep, they won't notice you. But you'll hear them from far away as they get closer. I don't know anything more horrifying than the sound of their damned howling. Take care, you can't be here.
How are you, Ignatius? Sorry. I thought now that we're partners, you'd be a bit more talkative. Why do they call you Ignatius? All right. Keep it to yourself. Do you want to go back home? You must be afraid. My, you aren't afraid of anything. I respect that. Don't you think we've been chatting long enough? I'm glad. Let's go and get this over with. Forked birch. I think I've found the spot. Well, Ignatius, I'll put your snack right here. Now, come and eat it up. Once you see a wolf, just out loud, and then run away. All right? I'll be hiding in the bushes, and we'll jump out to save you in time. Heel. Lie down. Right. You won't do anything without a carrot.
What? You're covered in blood, my friend.
I'm back because of those wolves of yours.
Ah, I'm glad to see you alive and healthy.
You don't need to worry about them anymore.
You don't say. What a relief it is to hear that. Here's something for your help, just like I promised.
I didn't find my dog among them.
Did you try to ask our gamekeeper? He might be a drunk, but he'd probably notice a stray dog in the woods. He doesn't live far away. Down the hill here along the road. Right on the rock above the pond.
I wanted to tell you something about Ignatius.
Did something happen to him?
How should I put this? The wolves were faster.
Poor creature. I thought I'd be glad to get rid of him, but... Actually, I feel sorry for him. Did he suffer much?
It was quick. The The wolf jumped, and it was all over.
At least it was fast. God be with you.
Hail!
I can't go any further. It's too deep. Oof, that's bloody deep.